Okay.
Yeah, lots of familiar faces.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of familiar faces. Okay. So go ahead, Ramaji. Give them the Rasa rep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm Ramaji. This is Ananda, Devi, and we work together as a team. Lots of times we actually, if somebody's not getting to 1,000 right away, we'll send them over. We flip-flop. So I'll send somebody to her. She'll send somebody to me. So we work individually with people, one-on-one, in a coaching and Rasa session. Give them Rasa. Just so you know, and the website is ramaji.org. Okay, so all of this really came about, because I'm not happy teaching using words. In fact, if you go way back to the origin of non-duality, Advaita Vedanta, all that stuff, there's a guy named Dakshinamurti. Oh, by the way, Kate, is this being recorded? It is? Okay, thank you. Now, Dakshinamurti is like the primordial guru. And the way that he would teach is that they would sit in silence for an hour or two, and he would give the spiritual transmission. And then after an hour or two of them sitting, they would usually sit in a circle around them out in the forest or in the mountains somewhere. And after he gave the transmission, then he'd ask verbally, he'd say, hey, did anybody not get that? Does anybody have any questions? So the primary transmission actually has always been a silent spiritual transmission, because any words immediately are going to take you away from the reality that we're pointing to. And the remedy for that is a silent, no word, spiritual transmission. And of course, probably everybody here has heard of Ramana Maharshi. And Ramana Maharshi, if you go on the internet, he says the best form of teaching is silent spiritual transmission. So that's what Rasa is. And right now, as of this point, there's over 350 people around the world who have awakened from Rasa and are at what we call LOC 1000, which would be called self-realization or fully realizing your true self. Okay, so the background, real quickly, is that in 2011, I've been at quote unquote 1000 since 2008. So for 3 years, and finally my life was, in good shape, and I was very happy living my life complete and whole and fully satisfied, and content and fulfilled. And then all of a sudden the higher power comes to me and says, hey, now that you're really happy with your life, we want you to become a spiritual teacher. And I was like, well, I don't really want to be one, because I'm going to have to deal with a lot of people, and it's a lot of work and all of that. So then they came back and they said, you have to do this. And I said, okay, well, then there's 2 conditions. And I don't know where this came from, because basically I'm telling God there's 2 conditions. And so the first condition that I asked for, that I basically demanded, was the people that come to us who give Rasa, they will be ready. They will be ready to pop. They're ready to wake up. They really, really want it. They're not your average seeker. And the second thing I asked for is, I said, I want a way to wake people up now. That means today. That means this minute. That means in this session. That means right now. It'd be like a hungry child comes to me. What am I going to do? Show them pictures of a cookbook? Hey, yeah, this is what the food looks like, and then here's the recipe for it. And the child is sitting there starving for days, weeks, months. No, I can't do that. Or I'm a doctor and sick people are coming to me, and I say, here's a picture of what health looks like, and here's a great description of it, and I'm going to talk to you about it. No, I have to give them medicine, or else I'm not a doctor. So that's where Rasa originated from. I asked the higher power for help. I said, listen, you want me to teach? I don't want to teach. I want to wake people up. So you want me to wake people up? You got to give me a way to do it. So I thought I was good. I thought, okay, I'm free now. I've escaped having to be a spiritual teacher. And unfortunately, though, the higher power had other plans, or fortunately. And so 2 months later, I'm giving just a real simple spiritual healing to somebody. And this big ball of light came down. So this is spring of 2011. Big ball of light came down, big white light, like a giant beach ball. And that person who is not clairvoyant or anything could see it, and then it went into her body and she could feel it. And something really happened. She was in chronic pain and she definitely got better. So we thought it was a physical healing, but it turned out to be an attitudinal healing, or attitudinal shift, a change in her attitude. She was less afraid, less resistant of that pain, so she felt better. So I was very curious, started doing Rasa, and then by 2012, I realized, man, this thing is really doing something. People are telling me that they're waking up, and it's not because I told them. And then finally, I did a Rasa with somebody in Hong Kong over Skype, and it was his first Rasa, and he went to 1,000 on that first Rasa. And he told me all about it, and he had meditated for many years, and so he was a prime candidate. Anyway, I was convinced. So fast forward to where Ananda Devi got involved, and she's already an awakened person. And so basically we've teamed up to give Rasa. I trained her to give Rasa a while back. And that's what we do now. That's what we do, that 6 days a week. And we just wake up people. Okay, so, you know, there are we do train other people to be Rasa givers after they go to 1,000 after 6 months or a year. And they've been at 1,000, then we may choose to train them to be a Rasa giver. So it's not just us that has awakened so many people via the Rasa, but we have the lion's share. Okay, so that's basically the story of Rasa. What the Rasa is, how I describe it, and I do have, due to Kundalini awakening when I was 16, I do have clairvoyant abilities and so on, and I've used those for many years. So what I see is the light comes down, and what we do is we open your crown chakra so that this light, which is at LOC 1000, it's pure divine light, comes down into your crown chakra and into your brain. And what I see is it actually transforms your brain. It actually turns your brain into light, and also connects to your heart. And this enables a transformation at a speed, and yet with a gentleness that previously wasn't possible, or certainly was very rare. So it's a little bit like a spiritual internet download. We live in the internet age, and now we've got a spiritual internet download, and it's called Rasa. And I'm sure there's other forms of transmission happening because the whole planet is waking up. You know, there are a lot of people wanting to wake up now, and they're here because they know they can. And there are people on this call right now, some of you know that you're here in order to wake up, and you're going to wake up via Rasa. And some of you on this call already have awakened via Rasa. Now, as Kate was saying, everything you did prior to today has contributed to this. So the Rasa is really for people who are all ready to finish. You know, you're close to the finish line, and Rasa is that booster that gets you there and gets you over the finish line and finishes you. You know, it's not for beginners. It's not for people who love what they're seeking and love going to India and love doing their mantras and want to go from guru to guru. It's not like that. You know, we're here just to finish you, you know, just to get the job done. Anything you want to say, Ananda?
No. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Just want to go and look at these people over here. Oh, yes. Just want to check my friends out.
So, Kate, should I ask for questions now, or should we just keep talking? What do you think?
You're good. We can open it up to questions. See if there's anything that emerges.
That's the basic Rasa route. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I'm not sure where the raise your hand button is. Anyways, I don't see it, but I just had a question. What does Rasa stand for? Does it have a meaning, like RASA means something?
Yeah, it does. In my a hubris at the time, I named it after myself. So it means, it's an acronym for Ramaji Advaita Shaktipat Attunement, Rasa. However, also being very clever, Rasa is a Sanskrit word, which means essence. So it's the essence of life, the joie de vivre, that which we all want, the holy grail of freedom, the feeling of freedom. So it's aliveness, it's full living, it's freedom, it's joy, it's love, it's peace, it's everything, the essence of what we want. That's how I think of Rasa. So yeah, that's what Rasa actually means. And so, yeah, that's what it is. So that's a good question. Okay, anybody else?
Is it load? I'm not going to pronounce this correct. Load. I'll just unmute you. There you go. You know.
Yes, it's a Dutch name.
How do you say it?
Lodewijk Langeweg. It means, in English, it would be Louise Longway.
Oh,
but
okay.
it doesn't really matter. My mother used to call me Lode, and my sister, or Lo. That's okay too. If I can ask my question, or, you know, yeah, maybe for some comment, there's two things that I found after many, many experiences and lots of reading that stand out for me at this point. Of course, there's different strokes for different folks at different times. But for me now, it seems like, and I have a hard time to get myself to it. Sometimes it takes a few days before I finally am able to do it. But when I sit down then, I say, okay, now I'm going to just sit for it. Then there's two things I can do. I start with the I thought, which is based on an idea that St. John of the Cross gives, where you kind of believe that while you think I, just nakedly and without imaginations or thoughts about yourself or God or anything like that, and just get this feeling, just so that it becomes like a feeling of your existence, of your human existence, right? Like your body or whatever you feel, and then believe that it is God, your true being, everyone's true being. He is then feeling that, and you stay with that feeling. And
What's your question? What's your question?
Okay. So that's one thing that I do, and then when I do that, sometimes so many thoughts and so many memories and
what's your question, sir?
I get to that. So,
no, give me your question now, please.
Okay, so when that happens, when I do that, and all these, and then all kinds of other thoughts come in, then I just sit with that. I just let it happen, because there's nothing else I can do. So my question is that kind of what you would recommend then?
Well, yeah, that's working for you. The reason you're here is because you can't do it by yourself.
Right, okay.
You are the I thought. And the I thought wants thoughts. The I thought cannot get rid of itself.
No, it's true.
Let me talk, sir. Okay. That is what you are finding out. Meditation is not the answer. If it was, these people, all of you here, wouldn't be here. You've all meditated. If meditation was going to get it for you, it would have gotten it for you. You're here because meditation has failed you. Okay?
No, not quite.
Go ahead and meditate.
Not quite. Because when I did this first, it worked for me. And this is a long time ago, many years ago. I read this idea, I used it for about a week, and then suddenly I had 4 days of total oneness with God. It was marvelous. It lasted 4 days, and every day I learned something very important. This is possible.
The foretaste is what's bringing you here.
Right, exactly. So that doesn't work anymore. Now it doesn't work, but it did at one time. So now all that is left is, okay, I can get it back by doing the same technique. So then I guess, okay, I just surrendered then.
Technique is not the way. Technique is the way to purify and prepare, but it is very rare for it to be sufficient.
Right.
And if it does work, what it does, and this is based on many years of experience, not just me, but other people, It'll get you into the lower levels of non-duality, but it will not finish you and get you to 1,000. That requires grace, a spiritual transmission, a teacher, something else than yourself. There's only so much you can do. It's set up so that we need help from other human beings. Okay? So that's how it is. Thank you. You are representing the vast majority of the people here because they have all meditated. And like I said, if meditation was the quick fix, the answer, the Holy Grail, then they would all be enlightened right now. Okay.
Can I jump onto something?
Please.
You know, I think that gentleman had a valuable, important question, and he said something that we all need to acknowledge and really think about. He spoke of his meditation practice producing a certain experience that he liked very much, the oneness, the feeling of being one with God, one with everybody around you. The nature of experience is dual. You will always have ups, downs, ins and outs, great experiences and experiences that are not so wonderful. This awakening has got absolutely nothing to do with an experience. Your experiences are as meaningless to us as your stories are. It's a story. It's in your head. It's thoughts, it's concepts, and it's ideas. When you let go of needing an experience, and when you stop trying to produce a state other than the state that you are in at yet, what awakening is. It's always here, and it's always this. When this isn't good enough, what do? We go into meditation, we go buy 19 crystals, go see 15 teachers, and go get 500 rasas. Why? Because we are resisting our lives as they are right now. It is always right now. It will never be anywhere else. It can never be anywhere else. This is always it. And whatever you think it is, via your thoughts and your ideas and your words and your concepts, it's not that. Because you cannot put a description. It's indescribable. The absolute, the isness, then forget about trying to find it, attain it, get it somewhere else, out there, the hamster wheel, and off we go. Seekers, desperately searching, seeking. It's always next. But what are we doing when we're seeking?
Yeah.
We resist now. We're resisting God. We're resisting this as it is.
Yeah. If I may say one more thing, I just said that during those 4 days, it was a happiness and a joy so great that nothing on earth can compare to it, nothing. But what I also learned, one of the main things that I learned is that, okay, so actually by taking on this experience as humans, we have given that up. We have kind of sacrificed it, and because I gave it up.
That is a bunch of crap. That's a big fat story.
Okay.
Listen, this is not that kind of satsang, okay, sir? Not that kind of satsang.
Okay, just let me.
You want to teach a satsang? Go ahead.
No. Let me just finish.
Our message. That's
okay.
not. Please, enough.
Okay. You know what?
May I just finish my sentence, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my God, this is ridiculous. Come on.
Yes.
Okay. All I wanted to say. All I want to say is that the last of those 4 days, I was still in this state of total bliss, okay? And then I saw some people, I came back here for a moment, and I saw a girl who was totally desperate. I mean, I just saw a vision of her. 3 months later, I saw her, and I told her about it. She says, yeah, that was 3 months ago, right? I said, yeah. She said, yeah, I was thinking of suicide, because my husband had hit me for the first time, and after that, he never did it again, luckily. So, but I didn't know that at the moment when I was in that bliss. But when I saw that face, I thought, wow, I'm in heaven, but others are still in hell. I don't like this. So that's when I decided I don't want this state until I can somehow share it with others. If others can be as happy as I am, then I wanted to get and not before. And from that, and since then I haven't had it anymore because I decided not to have it until I could share it. But the lesson from this is we have all done that. Everyone that's on earth right now.
You cannot speak for other people, sir. You cannot do it.
Okay, well, otherwise it would be an ego trip if
That's
I would
nice
say that
theory.
only I
That's
did
a
it.
nice theory, but that's all it is.
No.
We're telling you to let go of all concepts.
So I am better than other people. Are you saying that?
With all this
Okay,
crap.
okay, hold on a second.
I'm not better than other people.
No.
Everyone has done that by coming on earth.
You want to teach this thing?
Sir, I think you have valuable, exceptional points. I understand. And the
I don't have to say anymore. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I give every recognition that is what everyone is. Everyone is God.
Sir, can you just keep quiet, because we have so many people on this call that also want to share, and so I want you to. I'm happy you had the opportunity, and I'll clear one more thing up for you. The nature of beingness, of presence, is sharing. I like to add this point in sometimes, and maybe this will help you, and then we can move on to the next person. The nature of being a presence, existence, let's say God the Absolute, that nature is sharing, because existence does not need anything from us, because it is all of us always. It is us. Therefore, when a person starts to have that desire builds within them and they awaken, it is very common to start wanting to share yourself and with other. Why? Because now you are no longer little me, but rather a part of the whole. And then you can start to cleave to the attributes of being the creator that you already are. And how do you do this? You do this in the way of sharing your love, sharing your light, sharing. But that comes in time. This satsang is about getting you to a point where this can become your own existential experience, not mine, not Ramaji's, not So let's move on now. Any other questions, please?
Yeah, we got 1 hour left. We got 80 people, and out of that hour, 20 minutes goes to a rasa. So we got 40 minutes left.
And
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can we move on to anybody else, Kate?
So Han is next, and you're unmuted. Go ahead, Han.
Yes, thank you. My experience is the transmission usually like in person. So today we do it virtually. So that would be, I guess it's not a question, but more like a comment. I'm looking forward to do it virtually like this.
Well, the group thing's different. I mean, when it's me and Ananda, Devi together, and we have the group, we have found, we've been doing these online groups since January of this year. There's a synergy that's taking place. So you might think that, it's getting thinned out because it's having to go to 80 people, but in fact, the group provides this synergy, a fusion of energies, and that actually enhances the rasa in a certain interesting way. So, it's still a matter of research, but we're very excited about the online groups and the online rasa, because people are definitely get something from it. Although we would say at this time, the one-on-one is, especially with the two of us, if that happens, but the one-on-one from either one of us is the most powerful and direct way to wake up and get to 1,000. But the group process is definitely very beneficial.
Thank you.
And Paul Kraft has a question. I can unmute you, Paul, if you would like to ask your question, or I can just read it as well. Let's see, I'll unmute and we'll see what happens. Maybe. Okay, I'll just ask the question. He asked, I get a thought-free state, but I get the feeling that there's a lot going on behind the silence, like thought ready to pounce. Is this typical?
Of course, you're a human being. Very typical. Nisargadatta Maharaj made a very wonderful statement in one of his books that I've read recently. And he writes, it is the nature of the life force to express itself through thoughts and words. So they'll keep on coming. They will keep on coming. You have to make an effort in the beginning to not get involved. You have to make an effort until this effort becomes effortless. What he's really saying here is that it's not so much that you presence itself. Awakening means you're never going to think again. You're going to become, you know, an avatar, a super being, just living in bliss and existence. It just means you're not going to care if you do. You're not going to need to identify with every thought, problem, and issue that necessarily comes up. You are giving yourself a permission slip to just be this, the way you are right here, right now. It's simple. What makes it so difficult is the fact that we have been taught and conditioned to believe that we have to attain something else, that this, it's not here. And that's not, truth is always this. It's not what we think about it. It's not what we hope about it. It's not what we pray about it. And Ramaji can expand on that.
The nature of being is to produce thoughts. Being itself is silent, but like the ocean, there are waves on the top. And there are depths of silence. So yes, you're right, there's still activity until, according to the Ramana Maharshi model, the I thought is exposed and eliminated. And the I thought's like a shark at the bottom of the ocean. So you're right, that feeling there's more, yes, you're right, there's more. And then I love this quote about what Ananda Devi was talking about when she's saying to not care about the thoughts. It doesn't mean the thoughts are gone. They still come, but you don't care. What does that mean exactly? Well, the Buddha had something to say about that. He said, if you have awakened and you are being yourself and you understand this truth, then whatever arises, the following will be true for you. Whatever arises is not you. Yeah. Whatever arises is not yours, and whatever arises is not about you. So that doesn't leave very much. It's not me, it's not mine, and it's not about me.
Yeah, I had that experience. Just after reading your book, I realized through your book what self-inquiry was, and I meditated, and I was there, and I was like, the I thought is gone, it's in the heart, and I'm thinking, I'm answering questions. Wait a minute, there's nobody to answer questions of. There was nobody to talk to. There was nobody to share it with. It was like, wow, now I get it. But of course, as you get back to normal consciousness, that whole sort of experience has gone. But I understand that's the first time.
Let me correct you. It's not gone.
Well, yeah.
Wait. Let me finish. It's not gone. Your attention has moved.
Yeah.
But it's always there. That's our point. We're trying to say this. Yeah. The sun is always there, regardless of if there's cloud, weather, storms. The sun is always there. Sun of presence, awareness. Okay. Yeah.
No, I understand. That's more familiar speech, isn't it, rather than it is wisdom. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else?
I just want to remind folks that to raise your hand, you can go to the bottom of your screen, and where it says participants, click on participants, and then a raise hand function should pop up. If you can do that, that'd be great. For those who are on the phone, if you would like to ask a question, you can unmute yourselves by pressing *6. Okay. Anyone else?
If not, we can talk about something else. I have something.
Yes, go ahead, Ananda.
Mm-hmm. I'll wait for Kate to tell me.
Okay.
To go ahead. Because there may be more questions.
Sure, at the moment there's... let's just check in with Leela. Did you have a question?
Yes, I had a question.
Go ahead.
How does the rasa affect your kundalini if your kundalini is running but it's not running correctly? Will the rasa help?
Hello, Layla. Layla, I think that can we email you because you can I email you privately on that so we don't go into Kundalini right now. Is that okay? Yeah.
Well, the short answer is yes.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The short answer is yes.
Yes.
The Rasa really helps with Kundalini.
Okay.
complicated, like to very individual and personal.
Yeah, because I know Layla, and so I would like her to get a more defined definition, because I know what she's going through. So I think that's more personal and not, but so we can talk about Kundalini, your states
exactly.
at a different time.
Very personal.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone, is that okay, Layla?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks, sweetheart.
But it definitely helps. Definitely.
It does help. Any other questions?
Yeah, we got a lively group today.
We do. I love the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
I mean, our first gentleman, even though I got on his case, listen, everybody, I love it. We love it. This is what we want. Go ahead. Come for it. Go for it. That's what we want. So don't misinterpret my action.
Oh, no. Take nothing personally.
No. We love anybody who really cares about this and is passionate about it and wants to wake up and is fierce and on fire. That's what we want. That's what we love. Okay, so understand that. So we encourage that. Awesome. Super.
And I just, Alia, did you want to ask a question? I'm going to unmute you. There you go.
No, I was having computer problems. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Can Rasa fix computer problems?
If your computer wants to get enlightened, yes.
Yeah.
Most computers, though, are still just seeking.
Yeah. Okay. Ananda, I think if you want to jump in, go ahead.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I feel like making a few quotes today. I don't know why. I don't usually do this. But Ramaji and I were at the deserts recently, and it was so fabulous. And suddenly came across this quote by Yogananda what's his?
Yogananda.
Are you guys familiar with him? The Self-Realization Center in San Diego? And his quote was, enlightenment is the ego's greatest disappointment. And with that, I actually started to laugh, because, I mean, you can really, if you can just get that, and you recognize only the seeking is for the states, it's not this, it's somewhere else. When that drops away, what really happens is just this now, and this now is enough, and this now is it. And the ego, only an ego wants a different experience. Only an ego needs it to be blissful, needs it to be a certain way, needs it to be other than, because our egos, the little me, the little I is, oh, this isn't good enough, always having a moan, complaining, bitching, whatevering. But when you recognize that the self is having this experience, no one self, this becomes beautiful. The way, hello, you're awake. And so, yes, disappointment, I'm afraid to say. And I just wanted to say that, I guess. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's true. It's absolutely true. So whose disappointment is it?
It can only be the ego.
It's the separate self, because we actually, as you can see, we both have personalities, and as you see, we're both here. So when we say there's nobody here or there's no self, what we're talking about is there's no false self. There's no little me, I in the head or somewhere else in the body that it thinks it's dictating everything and thinks that it makes the body do this and the body do that, that thinks it's in charge. That's gone. And what's left is what is and what is happening, the flow of life, the Tao, the living stream of love and life. That's what's happening. It's all just happening. And when you don't interfere with it, you don't resist it, guess what? You are fully alive then, without fear.
Pip has a question. You're unmuted, Pip. Go ahead.
Hi. I just was curious about the lowest age that somebody could have rasa. Did you hear me? No.
Gave Rasa to a child, autistic child who was 4 years old. And
Okay.
he went to 1,000. Generally,
Well,
also given Rasa to children who were 9, 10, and 11, and also a teenager at 16, and somebody at 14. So it, you know, if he wanted to, he was, do you want to wake up? The children, I was, you know, I did that, I had to do that telepathically, of course. With the teenagers or the, you know, 9, 10, and 11, I asked them questions to make sure they were ready for it. So basically, there's no age limit in either way.
great, thank you.
Yeah.
I do just want to mention that Ananda and Ramaji, your connection is coming in and out, so it's a little, it's freezing. If we might have to turn off your video just for a minute, you can continue talking, but because it's a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
We're just not we're not able to hear everything that you're saying, and we want to make sure we do. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, so question is, so if the I thought can't get rid of itself, then what? Like meditation fails because it does.
Meditation fails why?
Because it does.
Because it does what?
Kate, can you hear us?
I can hear you. That was it for the question. Priya, do you wanna get on and ask your question, or?
Only if it's okay.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
okay. Hi guys. I love
I'm
this.
in a good mood again. Don't worry about it. I'm in a good mood again. Go ahead, Priya.
Oh, I don't care. I love you. I don't care what kind of mood you're in. I love you both. Because you are human, because you are the role models to make me realize that I don't have to be like happy all the time. I can be the whole spectrum, and that's great because I'm not trying to be a half pseudo human being. Like, I love it. And so I guess something you've said is like, you know, the I thought can't get rid of itself. Okay. I also recognize that meditation has failed. That's why I'm so glad that I found you guys. So now what? What would you say to someone who's at that, like, I'm not there yet, but between me and this coffee mug, which I'm pretty sure the coffee mug is more realized than I am, what can I do?
Get Rasa.
Okay.
Get Rasa and relax.
Yeah.
Relax, relax, relax.
You see, the problem with you, Priya, is that you are asking what to do. Now, you can't do anything. There is nothing you can do. Nothing.
Simple. I love it.
Grace.
That was my question. That's all.
That's it.
Yeah, just notice when you do something, where did it come from?
Yeah.
You can't do anything other than what you do, than what you did. Think about back when you did something. Could you have done anything else at that moment? No. So why worry about what you're going to do? Instead, relax, enjoy, you know, have a good time, get Rasa, you know.
Super cool.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, this is all about, this is it right now. And really, we find seekers, of course, we were both very serious when we were seekers, but we do find seekers are a little bit too serious. So it's really good to have a good time and let your hair down and chill out. And, you know, it's
have a vodka.
It's going to be okay. Whatever works for you. Yeah. Some wine, glass of wine.
Glass of wine. Okay, so
yeah, vodka's not for everybody.
No, I mean wine. You know, whatever. Really, whatever
makes you dance better. I get it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about enlightened alcohol drinking now. But,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Priya.
Yes. You see, the last thing we mean is when this little separate I thought dissolves, or when you start to recognize that it was false to begin with, is that all of a sudden you start to behave like an irresponsible, clueless individual. That's not what we mean. It just means that you recognize that this divine intelligence that you already are and have always been, you are a part of all that is. All that is meaning the separation. Mind is the separation. The little I is the mind that separates this from that and that from the. But when that goes away, and the fundamental knowingness that exists behind the form, behind the thought, behind the ideas and the concepts, it doesn't mean you continuously walking around every day that, oh, everything's one. No, no, no. It just means you know it. You still can have the I am thought or feeling, Priya, or I'm Ananda, doing this and doing that, but you know differently. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because, and then you allow your spontaneous, free, loving, kind self to run the show, and you have so much certainty in its power, in its love, in its authentic beingness. You don't doubt it. You don't doubt it's going to work for you. And even when it doesn't, it stops mattering, because it just is what it is. And that's where you get to. It's a beautiful process. It's necessary. And until one, is able to really live it and be it and experience it, and I know, guys, it may seem like it's far out. It really isn't. It's always now. It's always here. This is the simplest teaching in the world when you get it. You won't believe I've ever spent a cent or spoken to a teacher or done anything. And the other thing I just wanted to clear up is this idea that meditation is not good. That's not what we mean at all. I find meditation to be extraordinary. It doesn't mean you have to meditate every day. It means if it arises within you to spend a few hours in meditation, absolutely do that. At the same time, if it arises within you to go have sex with your wife, go do that too. Or if it arises within you to go do whatever else you may want to do. What I mean to say is, if it's a natural arising and you feel like, but don't effort to, I need to meditate in order to be bliss out or lose this. You see, it's the effort that stops the realization. It's the trying that stops the being.
What goes is the resistance. See, this is fine. See? Waving my hands, talking, whatever, it's all fine. This is being a human being. So what are we really talking about? Not about becoming something other than a human being. We're talking about becoming a human being who is living fully in the now, meaning no resistance. No resistance. No resistance to the whatever arises, the thought, the feeling, the sensation. And what people don't know, what most people are doing, is they're actually resisting their thoughts and their feelings as they arise. And then arguing with them, and I shouldn't have that judgment thought. So then they judge the judging thought, and then so on and so forth, and off you go. So we're really saying, from my point of view, if you want to meditate, and of course meditation's great, I didn't mean it wasn't, but it brings you to the point where you realize, maybe I'm going to need some help to finish. So when we have what we call a do nothing meditation. So for 20 minutes, you lay down and you do nothing. The only thing you do, because it is a meditation, is just turn up your noticing a little bit. Don't watch, don't observe, don't witness. Just turn up your noticing so that you notice every thought, every emotion, every body sensation, every sense perception, every decision, and just notice. You see, and that is very close to the awakened state, to where you don't interfere with anything. Everything's interesting. Everything's good. Everything's appropriate. Everything's supposed to be here. Whatever arises is supposed to arise. It's the universe doing its thing. The universe is doing all of this. So instead of trying to change it, which is implicit or assumed in the seeker effort, like Ananda was saying, why are we trying? Why so much effort? Why? Because we don't approve of what we have, of what we're getting, of the moment, of the arising. We don't approve. We're rejecting it. What if you approved of it? What if you accepted it? What if you allowed it? What if you totally embrace it? Each moment, each moment, each moment, each moment, each moment. Would you then have a problem? Would you then be seeking, or would you be here enjoying? That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. This is it. And you live that way moment by moment all day long once you get it, once you're finally living this way. There's no effort to live this way. It's spontaneous and effortless, and you feel free with no limits and no conditions. You're still human though, so you still do human type things, positive, negative, and neutral. Okay.
Of course, I'm just not trying to use meditation to force that outcome anymore, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who is like, I shall take up meditation and I shall bend the universe to my will, because that's a completely rational thing to think. Thank you so much.
Unless you want to.
Thanks, Priya.
Mm-hmm. Unless it feels right. Thank you, Priya. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah, Larry was next. Go ahead, Larry.
Hi, Ramaji and Ananda. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, Larry.
Your support. My question, just I'll pigtail on what you just said, Ramaji, about the universe provides everything, and that's my understanding also. And yet, there's this real strong message that comes from a lot of teachings that says we choose our thoughts, and it's never really been my experience that I choose my thoughts, that they arise. And then, I can attach myself because they arise in my mind. So I'm just interested in how you would comment on the idea that we choose our thoughts.
Absolutely not. That is a pile of horse pucky. Absolutely not. That's complete crap. I mean, just anybody here on this call, just notice when you have a thought, where did it come from? From a physical standpoint, we'd say it came up out of your brain, and then, if a person is identified as a thinker, they will think, that's my thought. I just thought that thought. No, you didn't. It arose out of somewhere, say your brain or space or awareness, whatever you want to call it. It arose, just like you said, Larry, and then people claim it as their thought. It's not your thought. It's the universe's thought.
Yeah.
The universe is doing the thinking. No. And does anybody here know what your next thought's going to be? Or your next emotion, or your next anything? The answer is you don't. If you were in control and making all this happen, then you would know, wouldn't you? But you don't.
Yeah. I heard one teacher say that it's like the clown that takes the bow. He didn't do it, but he comes out and he takes the bow, takes credit.
Yeah, and as long as it's a groovy good thing, then they take credit. And if it's not, if it's an ugly, nasty failure, then they don't take credit.
Then it was the way my parents raised me.
Exactly. So the theme here is whether it's a deep meditation or you're you're temporarily in non-duality, you're having a breakthrough, or if you're stable in it, there will be thoughts. The thoughts will come and go. They'll just go like this, and then they're gone. Everything, the thoughts, the emotions, all of it, they just come and they go. Can you hold on to a thought? Can you hold on to an emotion? If you think you can, then go ahead and try. Right now on the call, go ahead and try to hold on to a thought. Go ahead and try to hold on to an emotion. Go ahead. Because,
Or to stop thinking. Like the idea of stopping thinking
or to stop thinking too.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the thought-free state is not actually about stopping thinking. It's about being free of thoughts, even when they arise.
It's about not being attached to not being attached. People could talk about the non-attachments, when you don't care if you have a thought or not. And if it comes, it comes. It goes. You pay no attention.
Yeah, when you don't give an F, you know what I mean?
Don't.
Yeah.
So you have a thought, you have a moment, and then if you feel like getting identified with that thought because it happens to be a really cool one, and you go with that for a while, so what? That's also the natural state. You can do that too. It's just about allowing what happens to happen as it happens.
Kind of a benevolent indifference.
That's what we think anyway. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's how you win the game. That's how you actually win the game. Everything's okay. It's all good. It's all God.
Yeah.
Every bit.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you, Larry.
It was a good question.
Yeah. Anybody else? We have got a chatty group today, Ananda.
Mm-hmm.
God bless them. We love this. Because we don't really have anything to say, you see. We love to react, but we don't really have a message other than get Rasa. That's our only message, really. And keep getting it until you get to 1,000. Then, whatever you do then. Anybody else? Or you got something you want to say?
No, just, when you start to get that everything is really just happening on its own and you're not really concerned with it, then you've gotten the message. That's it.
Yeah. There's a quote from Nisargadatta, and the guy says, I know everything just happens and it has nothing to do with me. I don't care about it. And Nisargadatta says, good, you got it, dude.
Get out.
Bye. So that's it. And Ananda is absolutely 100% correct. That's it. It's that simple, really.
It's as simple as that.
And in any moment, what's happening? Are you actually doing this moment? Or did the moment happen and then your mind came in a split second later, half a second later, and said, I just did that? But in the doing, in the moment of the arising of the thought, the emotion, the action, the decision, when it arose, did you do it? No, you did it. You thought about doing it before. Then it happened, then you came in, the mind came in and claimed it. You got to really pay close attention here. You got to be at the ground level of the arising, not up here with theories and concepts, down there in the trenches of the arising of each moment, the thought, the feeling, the sensation, the decision, the action. You got to really care. You got to want to know. I want to know what's really going on. It's your life, it's yourself, it's your happiness. You're the one that has to care about it. And you're the one that has to want to know, that has to be that passionately curious, that you need to investigate. It's a passion for investigation, to know for yourself. Okay, that's what this is all about. You're the boss, you're the guru, you're the teacher. You have your own authority. Use your own awareness to see what's going on. Verify, is what we're saying true or not? Go right ahead. What we're talking about is our experience. We don't need books to talk to you. We are simply talking, we're like reading a newspaper from our own experience. It's as obvious as the nose on our faces. That's what we're talking from. So we want it to be the same for you, that you know what's really going on. You actually know how life works, how this moment works, and then you will, as Eckhart Tolle put it, have access to the power of now, okay, which is a higher power, and then you live in alignment with that higher power, a life that is blessed, because you're no longer in the way, and now you totally receive the gift of life that God or the higher power wants to give you. You're no longer resisting the good that is coming to you in every single moment. Okay, anybody else?
Yes, before we go to Kun, someone asked on chat, my question is that it seems to me that nothing is really happening because of our own intentions and everything is predetermined. Does that mean it is already predetermined who is going to get awakened and who is not?
Somebody asked Ramana Maharshi that question. And he said, who wants to know and who's going to awaken? In other words, this whole thing is one big story.
The whole thing, guys, it's all a concept.
It's a movie. It's a dream. So awakening, not awakening, predestination, free will, all of you are already awakened.
They say it's like, I love the choiceless awareness. We are all choiceless awareness, spaciousness. I mean, obviously we're all aware. I have to laugh when they've really come up with some really cool sounding words. Choiceless awareness. You're aware. You're aware every single second of your lives from the time you wake up. I mean, it's not so hard to recognize that you're aware. And what are you aware of? First and foremost, that you exist. I am. And everything else is consciousness, the mind. And before that, is anything really happening? No, nothing's ever happened and nothing at all. No.
It's not existence as
like
so
a dream.
And so. It's just the sense of existing itself, beingness. That's what you are. Okay, so the question presumes a whole lot of stuff that really is all fictional. We're pretty much at a point here where I think we should give Rasa. It's 12:06 by my clock, and we're going to be done around 12:30. So the Rasa will take 20 minutes. So if so you agree with that? We should do Rasa here pretty quick.
Yes, I don't mind. Whatever the people want, I'm good. I'm happy.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Whatever Kate thinks. I'll end up by saying that if you think one more thing just pertaining to the question that he asked before, it's almost as if nothing, awareness, became everything. Why? Because it had a desire to be something. And then boom, we all trying to understand that, make sense of it. Why did it happen? How did it happen? But we're never going to really know because it happens. It is what it is.
But it never lost itself in that process.
No.
So everything is still the self, Buddha nature, God, and it's like this soda, you know. It's like could just be water, but actually it's like got this carbonation in it. It's got that fizz. So beingness, God, the self wanted fizz, you know, but it's still here, just with the fizz. Okay, so. Since we're going to be, timing, Okay, so anybody needs to go use the restroom or something before we do the Rasa, it'll be for 20 minutes. So I'm going to go, and then anybody who needs a break right now, this is the time. In about 2 minutes, we'll start the Rasa. And maybe Ananda will stick around and entertain you and educate you.
I can see everybody's head, I hope, when they come back. That's the most important thing. Andrew, sit up a little. That's better.
I want to check this chat thing.
20 minutes, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Guys, I want to tell you guys there's something. You've done the work. You've seekers, probably the majority of you have been seeking for years and years. You've been to many teachers. You've done many meditations, retreats, God knows. Surrender now. Let it go. Forget about it. Forget our words. Forget our words. What we say today is irrelevant. Let it go and just be. Allow the Rasa, give this Rasa a permission slip. Let us do this. Just be open to receiving, as if you're getting a suntan on the beach. Relax. You don't have to meditate, and just enjoy. And if you have anything, you can email us, at ramaji.org. Get hold of us at any time. And it's been wonderful. And, I also want to thank Kate, but maybe we'll do that after the Rasa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 20 minutes.
Okay, here we go. Rasa.
Everybody ready? Kate, is everyone ready?
Looks like it. And yeah, you've just informed people that they shouldn't keep their video on and just relax, receive.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Just relax and receive. That's
Please
it.
have your video on and relax and receive. Yes.
Eyes open or closed?
Oh, eyes closed. Thank you very much,
thanks,
Mary.
Mary.
Yes, 20 minutes in silence, eyes closed. Thank you, Mary. Okay, here we go. Yeah, upper left. Okay, that was the Rasa. Recommend that you sit quietly for a while or lay down quietly for a while after getting the Rasa. If you have more questions or you want to share an experience or work with us, then go to ramaji.org. There's a contact form at the upper left. So thanks very much for being here. You guys are fantastic. And thanks to Kate and Open Circle for providing this platform for us. They are a fabulous organization, and we recommend all of their teachers and what they're doing. Of course, they have live events up in the Bay Area as well.
Yeah,
Kate?
thank you. Kate's fantastic.
Thank you both. Thank you both for offering what you do and sharing what you do. And yeah, we'll be here next Saturday, same time, same place. So have a great week. And again, yeah, if anything comes up for you, you're saying email you both.
Now, Kate, is there something where you're providing some kind of support? I was not clear about that. I was wondering how that works.
If people are, if people have questions, they can certainly email me and I can forward them to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go, Kate, I'm sorry. Is John able to take a screenshot for me? Does anybody mind?
Well, yeah.
I've got the screenshots.
Okay, fab. And then if anybody doesn't want me to have a screenshot,
Email maybe?
Too bad. No, I'm just kidding. No, I guess just email me and tell me I don't want to have a screenshot. Okay, so
I'm going to take the last names out too.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're taking the names out?
Yeah.
Just the last name.
Last name?
Great.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
All right.
All right. We promise every single time it will be different too. This today, next time is going to be different. You get the same Rasa, well, maybe even a different Rasa, but still a really good Rasa. But yeah, we want to change it up, mix it up. Have fun.
Have fun. We love you guys. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Next time. Bye-bye.